All right, party people. It is day 5. Today is a big one. So what I want you guys to do is go listen to the podcast that I posted in our group first. It is long, but it is all worth it. Like, it is so good, I promise. At the very least, though, like if you're short on time, go listen to minutes 28 through 34. I think it's like a 50-minute podcast total. So like go for a walk, put this on. Um, and if you don't have time to do the whole thing today, do a piece of it and then come back to it later. Today, we're going to talk about mindset shifts, and self-compassion. So our thoughts drive our behavior and shape our reality. Let that sink a little bit. Our thoughts drive our behavior and shape our reality. And we can control them, which means that you have infinite control over your reality and your behavior. What I want you guys to do, so on the podcast, they talk a lot about creating awareness, right, around the thoughts. How do we, if we can control our thoughts, then how do we control our thoughts? Because they're involuntary, right? Thoughts come and go all the time. We don't ask them to come. We don't always want the thoughts that we have, but we do have the ability, once they arrive, to decide what we do with them, right? So today we're going to do something called a thought record. And I want you to practice this if you can in real time. Okay. If you're struggling with that, then try to think of a recent experience where you wish you had thought differently. And we can go through and do it that way. But in order to do it real time, the first thing you need to do is just pause. Like the way that we create awareness around our thoughts is just to be still and quiet and slow down a little bit. So practice that. And then the other thing that's kind of a clue is a shift in how you're feeling. So when you notice a shift in how you're feeling today, ask yourself, what was going through my head just then? And write it down like immediately, absolutely immediately, because they go fast, right? So if possible, I want you to note the situation. So when did this happen? Where did this happen? Who was there? The emotion. What was the shift in what you were feeling? And then the thought. What were you saying to yourself, or what image came into your mind just then? Okay, after you have that all written down, then we're going to examine it. So you're going to identify the thought that you want to work on and write it down, which you just did. You're going to then give the thought an initial belief rating. So 0% would be, I don't believe that at all. 100% is, I believe that to be absolutely true. After the initial rating, then you're going to ask, what is the evidence that makes me think this thought is true? Make this an exhaustive list. Don't leave anything off. So an example would be if uh, an example would be God is mad at me. I'm going to say I believe it 100% because I am pretty convicted in my feelings generally. What evidence do I have that makes me think this thought is true? He didn't say hi to me when he came in the door today. He's usually a pretty talkative person and he's not talking right now. I bugged him about getting something done, and I know that he doesn't like it when I do that, or I believe he doesn't like it when I do that. Okay, I'm making this up off the top of my head, but I'm going to try to think about everything that I can that makes me believe that this is true. Then you're going to go and list all the reasons that this might not be true. So maybe something came up at work and it has nothing to do with me. Maybe he feels sick, so he's being quiet and just kind of tired. Like, again, make this an exhaustive list. Another example, I think a better example is like believing something about yourself, right? So I am not good enough to lead my team at work. even though that's the thing that I want to do, I feel like I believe that I don't have enough experience in this field to do that. What evidence do you have that this is true? Well, I've only worked here for a year. It's a new industry to me. I switched careers from something else. Okay, now what evidence do I have that it might not be true? The people on my team seem to trust me and seem to follow me. Just because I haven't worked here doesn't mean I haven't worked, right? Okay, so like exhaustive lists. Okay. Additionally, with the reasons that this thought might not be true, ask a friend if they said this about themselves, what would you say to that? Right. So if I'm telling myself that I'm not good enough to lead, if one of my friends had said that about herself, I'd be like, hell no, like I'll follow you into a fire. Right. Um, try to put yourself in a friend's shoes. And then also ask yourself if there's a time where this hasn't been true. Okay. So then, given all of that evidence, is now there a better way of summing up the situation? What new thought might we be able to adopt after this practice? So, with my Scott's mad at me example, the new thought would be I actually don't know if he is or not without having a conversation with him. I can't just conclude that he's mad at me without having more information. Okay. With my not good enough to lead example, um, I think the new thought that I would come up with would be that's not actually up to me to decide. It's up to the people that I need to lead. If they feel like they can trust me and they want me in this position, then I need to trust that I can do it. Okay, that's just like quick examples, but um, that is your exercise for today. Okay, so I want you to actually do it, write it down, and I want you to share it with the group. Share a thought that you had, and then a new thought that you adopted in its place. Okay, this is a good one. This is like deep work, really deep work, and it's really going to make a difference for you guys if you can lean into it. Okay, hope you are enjoying it so far. What else did I have to say? There are a couple of goodies that I'm going to be teasing in the next couple of videos as we wrap up this challenge. So don't fall off. Don't fall asleep on me. There's more good stuff to come. And I want you guys to start to think about what might it look like to continue some of these practices as you move on from this challenge, because we do wrap up in a couple of days, right? So that is something that I want you guys to think about now, and it's definitely something that we'll continue to talk about. But what are the things that you might want to put in place for yourselves to make sure that the work that you're doing right now makes a difference for you? All right. Talk to you soon. Have a good day.